Assalamualaikum everyone. At first, I would like to introduce myself, Ahmad Nabil bin Azhar, and I will be a moderator, and uh my group's member Amirul Ashraf, Muhammad Fidaus, and Nur Izzah Kristina. As can be seen, we will hold an interview session related to the code of ethics in engineering together with an experienced engineer, Mr. Safwan. We will give him a way to introduce himself.
Okay, hello guys. Very good evening. So my name is Muhammad Safwan Shazwan Sofi. Basically, I am graduated in the mechanical engineering, pure mechanical engineering. So I've been in the automotive industry for about 7 years, which is my first assignment was on the site engineer at Cyberjaya for the air conditioning and also firefighting system. Uh, Firefighting system apa panggil? Gua tu. Project engineer. Okay. Sorry, tak ingat. And my second assignment was at Honda as uh, development engineer for basically for the new model lah, for Honda model range from Accord till City and also Jazz model. And right now I've been my third assignment, which is at Edian Alur Gajah, Melaka, as senior coordinator for new program or new project for seat, basically seat fabricating in automotive lah, for Honda, Proton, Mercedes and also Nissan. Okay. I am 32 years old, and basically I am major in the automotive sector lah. I think that's all from me.
Thank you, Mr. Safwan, for introducing yourself. We will start this interview, and I think Amirul would like to ask first.
Okay, I will start the interview with the first question. The question is, what is the purpose of an engineering code of ethics?
Okay, an engineering code of ethics is a set of rules that provide standard for moral behavior and professional behavior for the engineers. As engineering code of ethics, which is aimed to create a set of guidelines and also expectation for all engineers for their professional conduct, protecting the environment, public safety, and also welfare. In accordance with these values, engineers must safeguard public safety, prioritize the need of their clients and employers, and also always act honestly and ethically. The public trust in the engineering profession is bolstered by engineering code of ethics, which frees the engineer to innovate and create new technologies that will benefit our contemporary society.
Yeah, I understand what you were explaining. May I ask you the next question? Why is it important for engineer like yourself to adhere to ethical standard?
Okay, for engineers, we upholding the ethical norms is essential since it fosters the professionalism, protect the public interest, avert misbehavior, and preserve the integrity of engineering practice. Engineers adhere to a code of ethics for a number of reasons. For example, maintaining one's integrity, honesty, and safety, exercising sound judgment when faced with difficult choices, and preserving one's professional discretion.
So, based on your experience of working for several years, you may have faced this unethical matter. Can you give an example of a situation where an engineer's ethical responsibilities conflict with their employees' interests?
Okay, for one example, that could be if engineer discovered a safety flaw in a product being developed by their employer, but is pressured to keep it hidden to avoid delay or financial losses. Okay, in such cases, the engineer ethical responsibility would be to prioritize public safety over the employer interests. I think you all maybe heard some news previously about the Nissan. I think it is over the global news. So that is the example of the what we call it, ethical responsibility lah, which is the engineer are lying about the data which related to the safety concern of the public lah. Hai.
Thank you for answering the question. I'm sure it's hard to remember the unethical things that we've been through. Next question is, how can engineers ensure that their work aligns with ethical standards?
Okay, for engineers, can ensure their ethical alignment by familiarizing themselves with the engineering code of ethics, seeking guidance from the professional organization, consulting college or their mentor, and also engaging in ongoing professional development and also training. Right.
Yeah, I just got it. But we are going back to your experience. Have you experienced a situation where you and your employees' opinion were not in the same direction? And as an engineer, can you describe the responsibility regarding conflict of interest?
Okay, this is the best topic because I think this issue is usually happen lah in the standard industry. Okay, uh, engineers has a responsibility to identify and also manage the conflict of interest to ensure that their judgment and action remain impartial and in the best interest of the public. This may involve disclosing potential conflict, recusing themselves from decision making, or seeking alternative solution.
Uh, Thank you for answering my question. But if you witness unethical behavior of your colleagues?
Okay, if I witness this unethical behavior of my colleague, I should first attempt to address the issue directly with him or the college, emphasizing the concern for the ethical standard. If the issue is persist or escalate, it may be necessary need to be report this behavior to the appropriate authority within the organization or to a relevant professional licensing board, such as I think we call for Board of Engineering BEM. Right.
Yeah.
Bold step must be taken to protect the reputation of engineers from unethical matters. Next, I think Iza would like to ask again.
Thank you, Nabil. Next, can you explain the engineer's responsibility to the environment in their work?
Okay, engineers have a responsibility to consider the impact of their work on the environment and strive to minimize the negative effects. This include promoting sustainable practices, reducing waste and pollution, and incorporating environmental consideration into the design and also implement of the engineering project. Right.
Thank you for your answer. I really agree because caring for the environment is very important to preserve its sustainability so that it can be passed on to the next generation. Next, I will pass on to the Amirul for the next question.
Thank you, Nabil. So for the next question is, can you give an example of how an engineer can prioritize public safety in their decision making?
Okay, an engineer can prioritize the public safety by conducting through risk assessment, followed by relevant safety standard and regulation, and also refusing to compromise safety even if it means additional cost or delay in project completion. For example, as you can see, for Honda issue regarding the airbag deployed, I think in last 2 years, many Honda models was called recall upon this issue. So this is example of the to prioritize the public safety, because when the airbag deploy and it is not follow the standard guideline as been set by the authority or regulation, so they call up again and replace with a okay part with okay performance part, compare to the original part which is will impact on the people safety. Right.
Um, so I like to add some question, which is what role does confidentially play in engineering ethics?
Okay, confidentiality is important in engineering ethics to protect proprietary information, trade secrets, and client confidentiality. Engineers should respect the confidentiality agreement they enter into and maintain the privacy of sensitive data unless disclosure is required by law or necessary to prevent harm. Okay, if you can see, during my working at Honda, I think this is I always familiar will happen to me, which is I already got maybe 5 years before ahead from Malaysian people. I also sometimes see the car ahead of other people as well. So this is an example that even though we see that we know the info, we cannot tell the others outside of the company, because when we leak the info, it will of course impact on the company's strategy in overall. Right.
Thank you for answering both questions from Amirul. Last question will be asked from Sophie.
Thank you, Nabil. So I want to ask you, how can engineers promote ethical conduct within their organization?
Okay, engineer basically can promote this ethical conduct within the organization by leading by example, and also raising the awareness about this ethical issue, and also encourage their employers uh, by using open dialogue about the ethics, provide training courses and also guidance on this ethical standard, and basically actively participate in ethics committee or initiative. Right.
I think that's the only question we want to ask. After all, we have reached the end of this interview session. I would like to thank you for taking the time to answer the question we asked regarding ethics engineering. Finally, until we meet again.
Right.
Thank you, Mr. Safwan.